In this video, we kind of quickly cover general navigation across the PAN system. I'm going to start here on the main menu, as you can see. And each one of these square things here are buttons you can click on. So if you want to go in and say find a client, you click on find a client. And so if I want to find someone called Reality, as you can see, I get two choices. And what I need to do to select one of them is simply click on the little arrow here, and I get to see that particular client. Now at the top of the screen here, this is the same for every screen across the system. You see there's a series of buttons. For starters, I'm just going to take you through a couple of those, which are the most important buttons. The first button here, on the far right, is get you back to the main menu. So you can see I'm now navigating around in a circular kind of motion, and I can go back, find the one I was after, and click on it again. Now the next button next to the menu button here is the list button. So you may recall that when I typed in real before, I actually got two choices to choose from. So if I click the list button here, I'll get back to those two different organizations, and I can pick the other one if I want to have a look at that instead. Now the same way of navigating forth and back between records and what we call a found set is simply using these arrows up here, and I can navigate between one and the next. Now from within here, instead of going back to the main menu to do a find, I can simply click the little looking glass icon here to find what I'm looking for. So if I click that, I can do the same thing again and pick which one I want to look at. Now of course, as we'll see in the creating a new one, if you're not finding what you're after and you are in the process of creating a new client, you would go and click new client down at the bottom here, or click the plus button up here. Or if we're happy with the one we have, we just simply click on that and go back to the data entry screen. Now on the right hand side, there's a series of buttons as well. You'll see these 5 different screen buttons relate to this one particular client that we're on. So on the first screen here, we see the marketing details of International Reality. On the next one, we see new leads or prospective bookings that we have for them. On the next one, we see the ads we have, the invoices, and the subscriptions. Now going back over these, if I say click on the leads area here, you'll see that there's only one lead listed down here, but you will also see there's a little arrow here, so I can simply click on that and go and see the lead that I have for International Reality. Now you would notice at first that the color at the top and the color of all these little banners across the screen changed. And similarly, if we go back to International Reality, you see it's got this petroleum kind of color here. If I look at the ads, you'll notice again, different color again. So there's a unique color associated with each of the areas of the system. So ads, leads, clients, invoices, each have the unique color identifying that you are in the module that you're in right now. You'd also notice that I can effortlessly click these little arrow buttons and simply navigate forth and back between any related piece of information across the system. There is no back button as such, because when you have a back button, you would get in trouble with choosing what to go back to. Do we want to go back to the previous client, or do we want to go back to the previous client in the state that it was in before we put in, say, some new data? So we're keeping it simple, allowing you to go forward and go to anywhere you want from any other screen that you want. The last thing I'm going to cover in the navigation section is that you'll see on some of these little mini bars across the screen here, there's a little plus icon, and some of them have a little trash can icon. So what you can do with that is basically, if you click on that, you can create a new note. In this case here, say here is a new note, say spoke to Reality, happy to proceed with ad booking next month. Now you will see that when you do this, there is a built-in spell checker, so you can see that it picked up that I couldn't quite spell Reality. So I simply right click on that and hit the done button, and I'm now added a new node. So similarly on the lead screen, I can add a new lead from here, I can add new ads, and so on and so forth.